Now the lesson Australia, the flattest continent. So regarding the location, extent and physical setting. So the continent of Australia is situated completely in the southern and the eastern hemisphere. So it lies between 10.45 degrees and 43.39 degrees south latitude and 113.9 degrees and 153.39 degrees east longitudes. The Tropic of Capricorn passes approximately through the central part of the continent. So if we see the map, you can see here the Tropic of Here is the Tropic of Capricorn, which passes almost from the center of Australia, and you can see the extent of Australia here. Now coming to the extent. So Australia is the smallest continent, both in terms of area and population. So total area of the continent including the island of Tasmania is 76.82 lakh square kilometers. So it is double the size of India and a little smaller than USA, and seventh among the continents in size. So physical division. So out of the total land surface of Australia, 94% is less than 600 meters above sea level. So comprising of flat lowland, therefore it is known as flattest continent. So since most of the continent is occupied by the desert, it is also known as the desert continent. So Australia can be divided into three physical divisions: the Eastern Highlands, the Central Lowlands and the Western Plateau. So regarding the rivers, there are few rivers in Australia. As a result of great aridity and high temperature, a large part of Australia is a desert. Most of the rivers of Australia are short and flow into the lakes, and they are more than the rivers which flow into the sea. So most of the rivers of Australia rise in the Eastern Highlands. So here you can see the rivers of Australia in the map. So these are the rivers: River Murray, River Darling, so the River Murray is the most important river in Australia. It rises near Mount Kosciuszko in the southeastern part of New South Wales. So this river is useful for navigation in certain seasons. Navigation means for transportation, for movement of people and goods, to transport goods and passengers. So the east flowing rivers are short and swift. They are the Hunter, the East Fitzroy, and Beliando. So the rivers Cooper Creek, Diamantina, and Mukumba drain into the Lake Eyre. There are some lakes in Australia. They are small in size and most of them are salt lakes. Example: Lake Eyre, Lake Gardner, Lake Torrens, Lake Blanche, etc. And of these, Lake Eyre is the largest. So the world's largest monolithic rock, Ayers Rock, lies in the west of Lake Eyre. So here you can see the picture of Ayers Rock and Lake Eyre. So climate of Australia is tropical and subtropical. High temperature prevails throughout the year in a large part of the continent. So winter season, summer season. So due to its location in the southern hemisphere, the seasons of Australia are opposite to those of the northern hemisphere. So when it is summer in the northern hemisphere, it is winter in Australia. So the period of December to February is considered as the summer season. High temperature and low humidity are the chief characteristics of this season. So the cyclones in Australia are known as willy willies. Natural vegetation. So tropical forests are found. Then temperate forests, grasslands are there. Shrublands, desert vegetation. So variety of vegetation we find in Australia. So wildlife, there are variety of animals also that we can find there. Kangaroo, wallabies, dingo, koala, emu, black swan. So agriculture is one of the occupations of Australia. But the cultivable area is small and accounts for only 4% of the land in Australia. So it is mainly found in the coastal plains of river basins. So agriculture, in Australia extensive farming is in practice. So the size of the holdings, that is the agricultural land, is large and modern methods of cultivation are followed. And importance is given to the commercial crops as they are needed for export. A variety of crops are grown in the continent, that is wheat, sugarcane, cotton, maize, tobacco. Variety of fruits and vegetables are grown in South Australia, Queensland, New South Wales and Victoria. So here in the picture you can see wheat, sugarcane, tobacco, cotton, apple. So wheat is an important food crop in Australia. It is grown in South Australia, Queensland, New South Wales and Victoria. The Murray-Darling Basin is the most important wheat growing area. Australia exports about 70% of the total production of wheat. Maize is another important food crop of Australia. So sugarcane is an important commercial crop of Australia. Then coming to the minerals. So minerals and industries. Minerals. Australia has enough mineral resources. So its important minerals are iron ore, bauxite, lead, zinc, copper, nickel, tin and uranium. So besides power resources, namely coal, petroleum and natural gas are also available. So many of these minerals are exported. So Australia is an important producer of iron ore. The main bauxite producing regions of Australia are Weipa, Gove, Mitchell, Plateau and Jarrahdale. So Australia is rich in bauxite and is the world's largest producer of bauxite. Lead, zinc occur together. Silver is a byproduct. Copper is also produced in New South Wales. Coal, petroleum and natural gas are the main source of power in Australia. So industries, at present Australia has attained an important position in various manufacturing industries. Its mineral wealth, agricultural development, progress in science and technology, availability of capital and wide market are some of the most important factors for the development of industries. So from the beginning, industries of Australia are dependent on foreign investors. Japanese are the foremost among the investors. So major industries are iron and steel industry, textiles, automobile industry, paper and paperboard, shipbuilding, pulp industry, electrical machinery, oil refining. So population. So Australia is not only small in terms of size, but it also has small population. Its total population was 20 million in 2012, which accounts for only 0.31% of the world's population. So in 1860 the population was 1.15 million and it rose to 18.7 million in 1998.